important. We experience a collapse in our life structure most of the time because we fail to funeralize failed yesterdays. You have to be strong enough basically to realize you can elevate out of your current situation. Instead of looking at where you think you should be by now, look at where you have grown out of. There are many individuals who need help with their blueprint, and I want to be that vessel, nothing special, just that mouthpiece to inspire you to construct the best version of your life that you can be. Hey, Lifestruction fam, you can now listen to all of my episodes on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, YouTube, and if you're an Amazon Prime member, you can listen on Amazon Music. You are now tuned in to the Lifestruction with Eric podcast. Thank you for pulling up and tapping in. Yeah, hopefully everyone's week is off to a great start. Had a day off today, so it's been a pretty good day to relax and just basically do nothing, which is good sometimes. Definitely good sometimes to just relax and do nothing. But, you know, my faith has been a little tested these past few months. And I think it's been a combination of frustration, disappointment, and hurt. You know, in January, fresh in the new year, we found out my mom's cancer was back after 30 years. Then basically 6 days later, my dad passed away. So my mind became, very crowded. And one of the things about me, I'm a very private person. I have a select few people that I will, share stuff with. So if I've shared something with you that is going on privately in my life, consider yourself a special part of my life. But anyways, in these past few months, it's been a month, it's been basically filled with letdowns and disappointments. And it's kind of left me feeling some kind of way. People that made promises to me, they went MIA. People that I was connected to, both professionally and spiritually, have showed me basically I'm not as important to them as they were to me in my life. I revealed these hurts basically that I was carrying from my dad's transition and my mom's recent diagnosis. Kind of when I shared this stuff with them, I kind of felt like, I shared it. They act like they was concerned. And then basically they faded to black. And seems like things have just continued. I was planning a gala for April 1st to raise money towards, the scholarship fund. I went back and forth on it and questioned myself if I should still move forward. Then I decided to move forward, only to have to cancel due to low ticket sales, basically because of no support. So I'm like, what's going on, God? Last year was by far my most successful year yet. And I was so excited to blast off in 2023, but geesh, this is not what I intended. And when you are pretty much used to succeeding at everything you do, it sucks the wind out of you when your job, your Job season comes. I really, was questioning if I should just shut down everything because my faith basically had weakened pretty much almost flatline. I have a friend that sends me daily affirmations and he hadn't sent me one in over a week. But then out of nowhere, he sends me a quote, and where is it at? Basically, the quote said, "A negative mind will never give you a positive life. So make it mandatory that you declutter your mind." So I began to look at the direction my life had been going, and it had been going in the direction of my negative thoughts. So I was starting to clutter my mind with resentment towards these people, and these resentments added frustration, which stole my focus. And this is why my event basically had failed, because I was so frustrated that I failed to focus on the positive. First Peter chapter 5 says, keep a cool head, be alert, be focused, and of sound mind. God's strong hand is on you. He'll promote you at the right time. So live carefree before God. He is most careful with you. So I ask God to declutter my mind, to clear the mental fog, and sharpen my focus. And a few days later, I was at work, and many of you know I work at the airport, and I love, people watching. I watched, how happy people were boarding an aircraft. These people didn't know any of the flight attendants. They didn't know the pilots, yet they trusted them in that flight deck to get a basically over 150,000 pound aircraft in the air, take them up 30,000 feet across the country and back on the ground. And basically, whether they realize it or not, uh, they had strong faith that they would arrive at their destination. And as I sit there and pondered on this, it instantly lit a new fire to my faith. How is it that we can let familiar people suck the wind out of our faith, but have faith in the unknown? So, it's weird, because we're so quick to get discouraged by people that we're connected to, but we can have so much faith in people that we know nothing about. So as I began to write my thoughts down last week and reflect as I was writing, I asked myself, what if this is God's way of showing me who I needed to disconnect from? Maybe it was in his plan for, me to reveal to these people my mom's recent diagnosis. Maybe it was for me to see how these people would connect to me after my dad's passing, but instead seemed like they just faded to black. I haven't heard nothing from them, didn't receive no cards, didn't receive no phone calls. And, one of the things that I have learned is when the enemy realizes how much fire we have at the center of our focus, he will send firefighters, hashtag distractions. Our focus starts a fire, and the enemy will seek to extinguish our focus with those firefighting friends, those firefighting church members, finances, health issues, depth, and more. But I encourage anyone that has listened this far to stay on fire. If you're not already on fire, catch fire. Stay alert, stay focused, and don't be too hard on yourself. I have started to speak into my life, every morning, and this starts my day off, after I do my meditation and I pray. These are, a few affirmations that I speak into myself. I'm focused. You can't put out my passion. I'm focused. You can't extinguish my peace because I'm focused. You can't extinguish my joy because I'm focused. You cannot put out my flame because I'm focused. Because because as a man thinketh, so is he. What is required to be positioned to our next is a higher level of focus. So I need you to be focused. You don't have time to be distracted. Please remember, where your thoughts go, your focus goes. Where your focus goes, your action go. And where your action go, your growth goes. So remember that and stay on fire and do not let anyone steal your focus. We have work to do. We have a purpose and we must live it to its full extent. Thank you for tapping in and have an awesome week.